Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. Today, we are going to be exposing something that should have been exposed to, and we tried to expose it. On April 17, 2024, I stood up and represented 4.7 billion people. Yes, I was surprised myself. You're saying, what is this guy talking about? A friend of mine took a picture of me and he said, you realize, Daryl, when you got up to speak that day, and I was not invited to talk at the subcommittee meeting on April 17th with Sam Salapar, discussing the Boeing 777, 787 aircraft and the design issues that are in it. Well, I got up and I said what I had to, and I couldn't believe it myself. 4.7 billion people. That's how many people annually fly on planes. And I got up and I said my piece, that Boeing gave up on-site auditing for over 22 years, and they were not even quality certified AS9100, which is for Aerospace International Standard. They were not certified for 22 years. Yet they demanded it from their suppliers on a July 2002 supplier bulletin. And the worst thing is that Boeing sat to give the impression to the suppliers, but the suppliers aren't looking at this, but just in case they did. Boeing colluded with ANSI-ANAB in the sense that they got on ANSI-ANAB's webpage, Management System Accreditation Committee, which means that Boeing could grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. How the hell could they do that when they weren't even certified to the standard that they're going to grant, suspend, or withdraw? You tell me, on top of it, you're a supplier, you're sending in a great part to Boeing, and Boeing was assembling it, an unaccredited company. What is that telling you? Between 2002 and 2024, there's over 8,000 to 12,000 aircraft that we really don't know as passengers getting your tail and putting on a seat if one of those parts may not be heat treated properly. I know what you're saying. More people die in car crashes. Well, let me tell you something. In Connecticut, I read going down the highway, 147 people died last year in car crashes. One plane goes down. Take a look what happened in India. Just one. Think about that. Now we're going to go in a little bit of detail here. Today is about Richard Blumenthal, and I must confess that it is absolutely disgusting, because after the 17th of April 2024, I warned Richard, you'll hear in this speech, I warned him that the DHS was involved intimately with, I have to tell you, with ANSI-ANAB. On top of it, let me just show you this, if I may. This is Phil Matheson. I'm sorry it's backwards. I apologize. He was getting paid $262,000. One time it was a royalty payment. Next time it was a various payment. But here he is, a DHS representative, getting that type of money, plus his federal salary. Illegal. Illegal. Because a federal employee is not supposed to be sitting on a board of a private enterprise. That's number one. Number two is, on top of it, you had a Mr. Randy Doherty between 2017 and 18, the man who handed over the kingdom of the IAF. The International Accreditation Forum was founded by ANSI-ANAB, their sister organization, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. They're both associations of accreditation bodies, national and international, and they are equivalent to ANSI-ANAB. The American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board are underwriters for both the IAF and ILAC. That means they take full legal responsibility for any sort of systematic or product failure. So $262,000. And Randy was being advertised. And guess what? He handed over leadership of the IAF to a communist Chinese national who was involved with our quality since 1994. And this guy is mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. Okay? And how do we know if Randy and he, possibly, because let me tell you something, the DHS got their data taken in 2017-18. We have the information. We would not tell it to you if it was not true, just like we would not tell you about Boeing. And I am a shareholder. And let's go through this, shall we? Exposing conflicts, accountability, and federal oversight, a call for truth in aerospace and standards. My fellow Americans, my fellow citizens, members of the press, and oversight authorities, which you can't depend upon the DOJ, the DHS, the Department of Commerce, and the FDA. Those are 4 federal agencies that sit on ANSI-ANAB's board, not just as board members, but as customers. We cannot have reliability in those 4 agencies even with Donald Trump, President Trump, changing the leadership. He may have changed the leadership, but the violinist is still playing. The same one. My name is Daryl Guberman. On April 17, 2024, I stood uninvited before the DHS subcommittee to speak truth about Boeing, the American National Standards Institute, the American National Crediting Board. I was not scheduled to speak, yet I could not remain silent. I exposed that Boeing had effectively abandoned on-site supplier auditing for 22 years, while in July 2002, Boeing issued a bulletin forcing all suppliers to comply with AS 9100 and be accredited by ANSI-ANAB. Shockingly, though, Boeing itself was not certified for AS 9100 during that entire period, 22 plus years. I don't know if they even got it now, because if they got it by ANSI-ANAB or one of their international equivalents, the certification is a fraud. Anyway. Following that meeting on April 25th, 2024, I contacted Senator Richard Blumenthal's aides, Lorenzo Dalbert and Beatrix Dalton, detailing the serious improprieties I uncovered. DHS sitting on ANSI-ANAB's board while Boeing imposed those standards on its suppliers. DHS is not just a board member, they are also a paying customer of ANSI-ANAB, creating a clear conflict of interest. Further investigation revealed the following. Phil Matheson, a DHS representative on ANSI-ANAB, was receiving $262,000 per year while still a federal employee. Payments were listed as royalty payments or later on as various. Between 2017 and 18, Mr. Randy Doherty, vice president of ANSI-ANAB and chairman of the IAF, was advertised on the DHS website despite ANSI-ANAB being a private concern. And the thing about Randy is this. On the website, he was labeled as the vice president of ANSI-ANAB. But if you got an email from him, he would be the technical advisor. What is he, a chameleon? Oh, they. Anyway, we continue on. During this period, ANSI-ANAB had affiliations with China nationally tied to Article number 7, intelligent mandates raising potential national security concerns. Because in 2015 to 21, Randy had handed over leadership of the IAF to Zhao Jinwu, a communist Chinese national, who also certified the ill-prepared laboratory in Wuhan, China. And here are the questions I pose. And I'm going to pose this to you, and I will answer them for you as well. Is it legal for Phil Matheson, a federal employee, to receive payments from ANSI-ANAB while also collecting a federal salary? No. Is it legal for Randy Doherty and ANSI-ANAB private concerns to be advertised on the federal agency's website? No. Is it legal for the DHS to be involved with ANSI-ANAB in a manner that confers influence over private certification while federal employee receives payment from those entities? No. Finally, I must ask, by not listening to a constituent such as myself, who brought these issues to the Senator Blumenthal nearly 2 months before the meeting with David Calhoun, former CEO of Boeing, but he was called in the carpet because of the Alaska air door, blowing off, and the DHS subcommittee, did Senator Blumenthal, here's the question, did Senator Blumenthal fail to act on a conflict of interest affecting national security and aerospace oversight? You better be damn well told he did. Yes, absolutely. This is why. Oh, I got to show you this. And there he is, proudly. And you know something? 2009, Lockheed Martin gets hacked by China, taking the F-35. 2012, Division of United Technology, Sikorsky aircraft gets hacked by China, taking the Black Hawk helicopter. In 2015, Lockheed buys it for $9 billion, a raped technology. They bought it for high money. I wonder if he got a kickback. $9 billion for a company's technology? I got to take it? You got to be kidding me. And then in the Connecticut Mirror, it stated, Connecticut lawmakers praise Lockheed Martin for working with an international regulator. What Richard Blumenthal did is he ought to go to freaking China because he basically praised China. You got to be kidding me. Oh, then he started talking about China. Let's continue on. The implications are staggering. Federal oversight, aerospace safety, the national security are all compromised when conflicts of interest go unchecked. My goal today is not to accuse lightly, but to demand accountability, transparency, and thorough investigation. Richard Blumenthal, step the fuck down and step down now. And I say that because President Trump said the F word. His Secretary of Defense in 2010, in 2017, Patrick Shanahan, who's now the CEO. What kind of garbage do they hire there? Garbage. He said the F-35 is fucked up. Never before in all my 62 years have I ever heard any federal employee, president or other, say the fuck word. Well, now he's made it up. He's made the Webster Dictionary, ladies and gentlemen. This is about truth. It is about protecting our standards, our security and integrity of the federal oversight. It is about ensuring no private concern, domestic or foreign, unduly influences agencies charged with safeguarding the public interest. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are fucked. The Department of Homeland Security fucked Kristi Noem. Does she know? Probably not. You have Howard Lutkin, DOC, Department of Commerce. Does he know? No, he doesn't know. He's probably smoking a cigar. I don't care. And then you have the DOJ with Pam Bondi. I apologize. And then you have the DOC the DOJ, the FDA, forget about that's Marty, whatever the heck his name is. Who knows? But anyway, my number is 203-556-1493. I hope you watch all this video because it affects you and it affects us. I thank you. 203-556-1493.